We are live.
Hello, everyone. This is Tom Painter again. Thank you so much for watching and being part of our world as a nonprofit educational foundation and a charity. Our goal is to help people have a better life. And today I want to introduce you to my mother-in-law. This is, when you talk about people that have made a huge difference in other people's lives. Well, this is my in-laws, Boyd and Merlene Ivy. And they have taught me so much about life, about how to work and to be a team and how to be able to make a difference, because that's what they have done their whole life. They have been a life of service. Boyd passed away a few years ago, but he has been a huge impact on my life, as well as my mom and dad. I've had the ability to have some wonderful, wonderful teachers that have made a huge difference in my life. And so I'm going to bring her on. Then we're going to talk about the Make a Difference program and how the foundation is sending money out to individuals. And then we're asking you to go make a difference in someone else's life. So we're going to talk about it in the next section. So here's Merlene. Hi, this is Tom and LaDon Painter. We're the founders of the Success and Money Foundation.org. As you know, we're a nonprofit educational foundation or charity. We teach kids, teens, young adults, and adults about success and money. Well, because most likely you didn't learn it in school. And as you know, we've been doing these wonderful classes for many years. And one of my guests that I have on today, I'm so excited to have on. As you think about the people that have made a huge difference in your life, I'm going to introduce you to one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, besides my wife right here. And my parents is Merlene Ivy, and I'm going to turn the time with her in just a minute. But I want to tell you a little bit about us and about how this all came to be. You know, as you look at your life, you really don't really know for sure how you've made a difference in people's lives going forward. You know, you're doing good things, you're planting seeds, you're hopefully helping people along the way, but you really can't see what happens until sometime later. You really have to go back and connect the dots going backwards to really see how people have had such a massive influence on you and a lot of people around you. And so as you connect the dots back, I'm going to connect the dots back just a little bit with my wife and I, and then we're going to introduce my mother-in-law. This is Merlene Ivy, and she's going to be our special guest today. So as we talk about that, I want to show you a fun picture. So this is a picture of my neighborhood and all the kids in the neighborhood. And right at the very top, you can see that one little boy that's holding a root beer. That is LaDon's brother, Randy. And of all the people that are on this photo, my brother's on here, we got all the neighborhood kids. There's two kids, and this is the only picture that I know of that both LaDon and I are in. And you can see both of us are looking at something else. Neither one of us are looking at the camera. So that's kind of how our life has been. But, you know, to introduce this a little bit more, I want to go back a step or two and talk to you just a little bit about my history. As you know, I'm one of 10 children. My mom and dad were both born in 1930. They grew up during the Depression. And as you connect the dots backwards, you can see how different things that affected them affected their kids and their grandkids and their great-grandkids. But I was born in 1959, and I'm going to introduce to you in just a second the lady that has known me longer than anyone except for my mother, because Merlene was in the same hospital room as my mom, and so they got a chance. They had new little babies together. Now, unfortunately, LaDon's older brother that was born one day before me passed away when he was young, but this is kind of an interesting way as we're connecting the dots going backwards. But I want to show you a couple fun things. This is a picture of LaDon and I, and Boyd, Merlene, and my mom and dad when we got married in 1984. And you connect the dots backwards and you look at the influence that your parents have had on you and other people that have had on you. And you can truly see the things that you're doing, that your grandkids are doing, that really go backwards all the way to the things that you learned about things from your mom and dad. We had a chance to travel all over the world to see things together, my mom and dad, as well as Boyd and Merlene. So that was one of the wonderful things that we were able to do. And of course, LaDon and I got married, started our own family. We are the parents of 5 children, and we have 4 grandchildren. So I'm going to let LaDon introduce herself just for a second, and then I'm going to bring my favoriteest person, Merlene, onto the call in just a second here. So go ahead, LaDon. Talk to you about your family just a little bit.
Well, this is our family. We have 3 girls and 2 boys, and they keep us hopping. We have 2 of our daughters are married, and we have our 4 grandchildren, and they live close to us, so we get to enjoy them a lot and do a lot of things with them. And they love to come over and spend time with us. And Papa is always teaching them about money and doing good and giving away. And I get to just have fun and do all kinds of fun activities with them.
So I got to tell you a story about how LaDonna and I met. So you saw in that earlier picture, I was 5 and she was 3 when the Ivies moved away. Now, Boyd Merline, Boyd was a professional Boy Scouter, and it was an amazing man. He went through the ranks. He was only one of 12 people in the whole United States. And he was over a council that had hundreds of thousands of boys. And the Boy Scouts made a huge difference in my life. You know, as I connect the dots backwards, it made a massive difference in my life. But, you know, I served a mission for our church. And when I got home, my mother said, you should go find that Ivy girl. Now, she was 3 and I was 5 when they moved away. But my mom and dad would send Christmas cards back and forth and kept touch with them and stuff like that. And so she was going at the college. And so I went down to the college. I looked through the student directory. I found her name. I found the classes she was in. Remember, this is quite a while ago before we had anything that was high tech at all. And I said, oh, I found her classes. So I went to her classroom, you know, waited outside the classroom, thinking that one, I'd recognize her. Haven't seen her since we were 5 and 3. And looked, you know, went to a couple classes, never could find her. And then I later found out that she had changed classes. So she wasn't even there. So I was out on a limb, but luckily I found a phone number for her. I called her and asked her out on a date. We went on a handful of dates and it never stopped. And 3 years later, it took 3 years for her to actually say yes.
I don't think so. He was busy running
I
around the
was
country.
so busy doing stuff. But anyway, so we got married, we started a family, and that's what's been so impressive. So I want to introduce to you Merline Ivy. Merline Ivy is my mother-in-law. And you connect the dots back to the people that have made massive differences in your life. Bob Allen says that good parents give their children good memories. Bad parents give their kids bad memories. And so my parents were wonderful. Boyd and Merline have been wonderful. And we have a compassionate capitalism going on here where I learned it from both sides. A massive part about gratitude and service. And what I'm so excited about having Merline on today is that the last couple of days I've been thinking about what would be a wonderful class as we celebrate in America Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving is the time when we all get together as family and friends, and we talk about the things we're grateful for. So I was thinking of all these people that I know, these really successful people, authors, lecturers. Who do I know that probably really exudes optimism, gratitude, compassion, positivity? And my mother-in-law came up to the top of the list. So I'm so glad and so happy to introduce my mother-in-law and my wife's mother. This is Merline Ivy. Merline, welcome to our presentation today. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Tom. It's a privilege to be here, and I'm glad you asked me, even if you just asked me yesterday.
Yeah, sorry, I get good ideas, but they're usually a little late when I get them. So go ahead, tell us a little bit about your history, your story, and some of your thoughts about life and compassion and service and things like that.
Thank you, Tom. My name is Merline Ivy. I was born in 1936. That makes me 86 years old. When I had my first, my birthday last year in August, I decided that I was going to make this the best year ever. Now you notice I said make. I'm the only one that can do that, but I'm making it the best day, and every day is a good day in my life because I make it that way. I have a plaque on my wall that says, there are so many beautiful things or reasons to be happy. I have tried to be happy and look at the positive side in life. You know, you can catch your children doing the things that are right. Too many times we say no, or we don't even take notice of them, but make them feel special and let them know that you are watching over them, not at them, but over them. Smile as much as you can. You know, sometimes a smile makes a difference in someone's day. And sometimes it's the only smile that they get. My worries are few, but my blessings are many. Always look for the good in others. I've known Tom since the day he was born, and he's kind of told you about that story of his mom and I being in the same room together the day that we both had babies. But he's a very special man, and he's a favorite of mine. Say hello to the people you don't know, and then treat them kindly. It was my wedding anniversary this week, 67 years. I was married to my best friend. We were in the same neighborhood. Boyd was 4.5 years older than I was, so we didn't have the same friends at that time. But after Boyd graduated from high school, he went into the Navy. In the meantime, I grew up, so when he came home from the Navy, I was a mature 19. At least I thought myself to be mature and 19. We started dating, and after a few months, the two of us were married. As we were dating, my mother-in-law, Boyd's mother, said, "What kind of pie would you like when you get home from your date?" And she always had a hot, fresh pie out of the oven to treat us as a special treat, and they were delicious. My worries are few, but my blessings are many. Some of my blessings are my family, my friends, my home, and the people that I am surrounded by with love. I have a friend who is 18. He had just moved here out of high school, and he moved across the street from me, and he came over one day and said, "Merlene, I don't have any friends." And I said, "Scott, I will be your friend." The next day, he brought me these little paper flowers. They were handmade by Scott, and I have treasured them for over 10 years. And he has become a very special friend of mine. I walk with a cane these days, being 86. I don't have as much balance as I should, so this cane has become my best friend. My 90-year-old friend hand-carved this cane for me, and I love it so much because he did it with love. My friend is Neil Butterfield, and he has carved many things through the years. One thing he has done for our family, every year at Christmas times, he carves a hand-carved ornament for our Christmas tree. So we have over 20 of these. Neil and his wife have been friends with us for over 50 years. Life is what you make it. If you look for the good, that's what you will find. As Tom mentioned, in America, we celebrate Thanksgiving. Today is that Thanksgiving special day, and it gives us an opportunity to take time to ponder and think of our many blessings. Some of these might be good health, our families and loved ones, our home, etc. One of my special blessings is that our family all gets along. No one goes home mad. No one goes home in tears. Now, when our children were little, of course, we did have fights, and they were normal children, but now that they are all adults, they all love each other. And you can put any two of these people together and they all get along. Remember that with love, we can touch lives and we can be happy. One experience that I would like to share with you is one of our children, Malin. He was our second little boy. When he was 2.5, he developed a heart defect. In fact, he had this when he was born, and the doctor just had us watch it all this time till he was 2.5. Finally, when he was 2.5, the doctor said, it's time that Malin has surgery now, because if he doesn't, we don't know how much longer he will live. So I took the top half and said, everything will be fine after he has this surgery. But lo and behold, it only took him 24 hours after he had the surgery before he passed away. My husband and I were devastated. When we went home from the hospital, we had a little suitcase, a child suitcase, but no little boy. There were dark days ahead and we had a hard time, but we knew that Heavenly Father was with us and that things would be okay. One thing I learned from this particular lesson was that at the time I didn't like to go to funerals, but after this experience, I learned to have empathy for other people, and I could give other people comfort because of this experience that I had had. The next chapter, 7 years later. Now imagine 7 years after the day that Malin passed away. He passed away on October 24th. Lo and behold, another October 24th, 7 years later, our daughter Karen was born. Can you imagine that? No one else can take the place of another person, but Karen brought so much joy and so much love into our home. And I knew that Heavenly Father was aware of us and that He was with our little family. He knows us by name and He knows our joys as well as our sorrows. My worries are few, but my blessings are many. I wish I could meet each of you in person. I would have a big hug for each one of you. But I hope that you will remember to make this day the best day in your life. Thank you.